Emily's car disappeared down the street, taillights glowing in the evening dusk. I stood at the window, fingers tightening around the curtain as doubt clawed its way into my thoughts. She had been distant lately, small changes I tried to ignore. A hesitation in her voice, a lack of warmth in her touch, the way her phone never left her side. I had dismissed these things, convincing myself that stress from work explained it all. But now, with this invitation in my hands, unease settled deep in my gut. Carlton and Miles hosted events often, but overnight retreats? That was new. And why hadn't she mentioned it? I flipped the cardstock over, scanning the embossed lettering. Strictly employees only. The words mocked me. I forced myself to step away, attempting normalcy. Dinner felt tasteless, the house suffocatingly quiet without her presence. My thoughts looped, circling back to Damien Carter. A name that had lingered in passing conversations. A name that now felt heavier. Picking up my phone, I opened Emily's messages. The conversation with me was bland. Quick check-ins, a good-night text, nothing unusual. But I wanted more. My hands hovered over her social media. Clicking through, I scrolled past polished corporate photos and staged office fun. Then I saw it. A tagged post from earlier today. The image was candid, Emily mid-laugh, Damien's arm subtly resting on the small of her back. Others were in the frame, but my gaze locked on them. Something about the way she leaned into him, the way their bodies fit so seamlessly, sent a sharp pang through me. I exited the app, tossing the phone onto the couch. Maybe it's nothing, I told myself. Maybe I'm overreacting. But that doubt, that gnawing sense of betrayal, refused to quiet. Claire's reluctance only fueled my determination. If she didn't want to get involved, it meant there was something to hide. I walked away without pressing further, but my mind was already working on my next move. I needed to catch Emily off guard. That evening, as she returned home, I forced myself to act natural. She stepped through the door, her heels clicking against the hardwood floor, a faint scent of wine clinging to her clothes. "Long day?" I asked casually, setting my phone down. She sighed, rolling her shoulders. "Exhausting. Meetings dragged on forever." I nodded, watching her closely. Must have been some meetings. I saw the office posted about the retreat. For the briefest moment, she hesitated, just a fraction of a second, but I caught it. Her fingers curled slightly, her posture stiffened. Then, she forced a smile. "Oh yeah. Just a corporate thing. Boring, really. Boring." That wasn't the impression I got from the photos. But I played along. Claire mentioned it was eventful. Another flicker of hesitation. She let out a light laugh, moving toward the kitchen. "Claire exaggerates. You know how she is." I followed, leaning against the counter as she poured herself a glass of water. "How's Damien?" Her grip on the glass tightened, knuckles whitening. The reaction was subtle, but damning. She sipped, forcing indifference. "Same as always." "Why?" I shrugged. "Just curious. You guys seem close." Her eyes flickered toward me, trying to gauge my intent. "We work together, that's all." "Lies." I let silence stretch between us, watching as she shifted uncomfortably. She downed the rest of her water and set the glass down with a soft clink. "I need a shower," she muttered, disappearing toward the bedroom. I exhaled slowly. She was hiding something. I grabbed my phone and scrolled through my contacts. After a moment's hesitation, I sent Claire a text. "If you don't want to say anything, I get it. But I need to know if my wife is cheating on me." Minutes passed. Then, 3 dots appeared. A single reply came through. "You should check her work emails." A sharp chill ran through me. Claire didn't confirm anything outright, but she didn't deny it either. Emily's laptop was in the office, tucked away as usual. She rarely logged out of her accounts, always assuming her privacy was secure. I hesitated for only a second before making my decision. Moving quickly, I powered on the device, fingers shaking as I navigated to her emails. The inbox loaded, revealing hundreds of messages. I scrolled past mundane work conversations until something caught my eye, an email chain with Damien Carter. Heart hammering, I clicked. "Damien, can't stop thinking about last weekend. You looked incredible. Emily, you're trouble. Someone might catch on. Damien, only if you keep looking at me like that in the office. You drive me crazy. A cold weight settled in my chest. Scrolling further, I found more. Hotel confirmations. Late-night messages. Explicit confessions of their affair. My hands clenched into fists. She had lied to my face. Over and over. The woman I loved had been betraying me for months, using office parties and corporate retreats as a cover. I sat back, gripping the desk to steady myself. Rage burned, but I wouldn't act on emotion alone. No. I needed to be smart about this. I needed a plan. Emily had no idea that her carefully crafted web of lies was beginning to unravel. As I sat there, staring at the damning emails, my pulse pounded in my ears. Every word in their exchanges was another knife twisting deeper into my gut. I could have confronted her immediately. Could have stormed into the bathroom, thrown my phone in her face, and demanded answers. But what would that accomplish? Denials, excuses, crocodile tears? No. I wanted more than just a confession. I wanted justice. That's when an idea struck me. The next company event was only a few days away, a high-profile party where clients and executives gathered. Emily had already mentioned it in passing, saying it was one of the biggest nights of the year. I told her I wasn't interested, but now? Now, I had every reason to go. I needed to see it with my own eyes. The night of the event arrived quicker than expected. Emily dressed to perfection, slipping into a shimmering silver gown that hugged her figure. I had once been the man who took pride in having her by my side, but now? Now I watched her get ready with cold detachment, knowing another man had likely run his hands over that same dress before. She glanced at me through the mirror, lipstick in hand. "Sure you don't want to come?" I forced a smile. Actually, I changed my mind. Thought it might be fun. Surprise flickered across her face, followed by something else, something that looked suspiciously like panic. "Oh. Well, that's great." Her reaction told me everything. I let her drive while I kept my expression neutral. The venue was a grand hotel ballroom, buzzing with chatter and laughter. Waiters weaved through the crowd, carrying glasses of champagne, and expensive chandeliers cast a golden glow over the gathering. Emily held my arm as we entered, but her grip felt forced, unnatural. She was keeping up appearances. Then I saw him. Damien Carter stood near the bar, exuding confidence in a tailored suit. His gaze swept over the room until it landed on Emily. His lips curled into a smirk. A silent understanding passed between them, one that made my stomach turn. Emily stiffened beside me. "I, need to speak with some clients." I nodded, watching as she moved through the crowd, straight toward Damien. I followed at a distance, careful to blend in. She reached him, their exchange subtle yet loaded with meaning. Damien's fingers barely grazed the small of her back, but it was enough. Enough to confirm what I already knew. I clenched my fists, anger simmering beneath the surface. But I wasn't here to explode. I was here to end this. Slowly, I made my way toward them, grabbing a glass of champagne on the way. Their backs were turned, lost in quiet conversation. I leaned in, just enough for my voice to reach them. "Having fun?" Emily's body jolted. She spun around so fast that her drink nearly spilled. "Oh, Damien's smirk faltered, but he recovered quickly, offering a handshake. "Didn't know you were coming, man." I ignored his hand. Neither did Emily, apparently. Her eyes widened. "Of course I took a slow sip of champagne, cutting her off. "You know, it's funny. I've been thinking a lot about trust lately. How fragile it is. How easily it can shatter." Damien shifted, sensing the shift in my tone. "That's deep." I tilted my head. "Isn't it?" Then, with a smirk of my own, I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. Emily's breath hitched. I tapped the screen, opening an email. Then another. Then another. I held it up just enough for both of them to see. Their messages. Their hotel bookings. Their affair, laid bare in black and white. Emily's face drained of color. Where did you get that?" I shrugged. Doesn't matter, does it? Damien took a step back, clearing his throat. Look this. I turned to him, cutting him off with an icy stare. Save it. The noise of the party carried on around us, oblivious to the war unfolding in this small corner of the room. Emily reached for my arm. I can explain. I pulled away. No, you really can't. With that, I walked away, leaving them standing there, exposed and powerless. But I wasn't done yet. The real reckoning was still to come. I didn't leave the event immediately. No, that would have been too easy. Instead, I took my time, savoring the unraveling disaster I had set in motion. Emily and Damien remained frozen in place, their carefully constructed lies crumbling beneath the weight of undeniable proof. I watched as she whispered something to him, frantic, her hands trembling. He ran a hand through his hair, glancing around as if searching for an escape route. But there was none. Not tonight. Not after what I had planned. I casually made my way toward the stage, where the company's CEO, Richard Lawson, was preparing to give his usual speech. I knew the microphone would soon be live, the room's attention centered on the podium. Perfect. A waiter passed by, offering another round of champagne. I grabbed a glass, lifted it in mock celebration, then downed it in one swallow. The fizz burned, but nothing compared to the fire coursing through my veins. Then it was time. Lawson tapped the mic, clearing his throat. Good evening, everyone. Before we begin tonight's recognitions, I'd like to take a moment to thank you all for your hard work and dedication. I moved swiftly, stepping onto the stage as if I belonged there. The crowd murmured in confusion, but I didn't care. My pulse pounded as I reached for the microphone. Emily's horrified gaze locked onto mine. Sorry to interrupt, I began smoothly, smiling as if this were just another pleasant toast. But since we're here to celebrate transparency and teamwork, I figured now would be a great time to acknowledge some extra collaboration happening within this company. Scattered laughter rippled through the crowd. Richard Lawson frowned, unsure of what was happening. I turned toward Damien. Take Damien Carter, for example. A true leader, always willing to go above and beyond for his colleagues. Damien stiffened. All right, that's enough. I held up my phone, projecting the emails onto the large screen behind me, ones I had secretly connected to the event's media system earlier that night. A collective gasp spread through the ballroom. Explicit messages. Hotel reservations. Pictures. Evidence that couldn't be denied. Emily let out a strangled noise, face contorted in pure panic. Richard Lawson's jaw clenched. What the hell is this? I smiled. Just a little insight into how some of your employees spend their business trips. Damien was already backing away, sweat beading on his forehead. Emily, realizing the severity of what was happening, lurched forward. Please, I held up a hand. Save it. We're done. Then, I turned to the stunned audience. Enjoy the party, everyone. And with that, I dropped the microphone and walked away. By the time I got home, the fallout had already begun. Texts flooded my phone, some from mutual friends, others from numbers I didn't recognize. Social media was ablaze, people gossiping about the scandal that had unfolded live at the event. I ignored it all. Then, Emily called. I let it ring. Once. Twice. Finally, I answered. Sobs filled the line. Please, can we talk? I leaned back in my chair, exhaling slowly. Talk? You mean like how you and Damien talked behind my back? I messed up, okay? I was stupid, but I love you. I don't want to lose you. I laughed bitterly. You lost me the second you thought I wouldn't find out. Silence. Then, she whimpered, I don't know what to do. I did. You'll figure it out. Then, I hung up. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free.